In the words of Thomas Paine, the great revolutionary writer, at the dawn of this amazing country, the United States of America, the greatest country on planet Earth, ladies and gentlemen, my fellow Americans, my fellow global citizens who appreciate life, liberty, the pursuit of happiness, and the freedom to shout at the rooftops of your lungs, your barbaric yawp, to quote Whitman, I am free, and I deserve to speak my soul. This is a call to arms. Ladies and gentlemen, if we don't pass the SAVE Act, and I'm not kidding, I'm not joking. Now I sound like Joe Biden. I'm not joking. Where am I? I have no idea where I am. If we don't pass the SAVE Act, folks, it's all over. This is not clickbait. This is everything. I'm going to share with you a video that is going to absolutely chill you to the marrow of your bone. Also, you're not just watching as a passive viewer. Make sure you tap that thumbs up, share this with everybody, but also you can help. Yes, you watching right now can help. And you're going to help in a very, very big way. Stick around. I'm going to tell you exactly how you can help. So I want you to look at this chart right here. This chart right here is demonstrative that if we fail to pass the SAVE Act, which, by the way, this is not a bill that, is a big pork belly bill. I'm going to share with you the bill, the entire bill, and we're going to go over that in just a second. But I want to share this because this chart really says it all. If we fail to pass the SAVE Act now, folks, we will have, first of all, everything that we fought for, everything that we voted for, everything that we gave our souls, our energy, we worked ourselves to the bone for years for this moment to get our country back. It will be all for naught, lost for good. Absolutely lost for good. And so I want to share this chart really quickly and look at the pattern here. If we resist the other team's agenda, fundraise, gain the majority, and it's just politics as usual, we allow the silent filibuster, get nothing done. You can see the cycle here. Fail to pass the SAVE Act. We lose the majority. Follow the red arrows. National no voter ID law passes. Permanent one-party state. You have to ask yourself, by the way, this is a bipartisan, both parties support this. I want you to look at this. Both parties support this. This is bipartisan, okay? 95% of Republicans, 71% of Democrats want voter ID. It makes absolutely no sense whatsoever why this isn't being enacted. It is day 57 since Chip Roy brought this to the floor. And this is why the GOP pisses me off more than anybody. This is why the GOP pisses me off maybe even more than mentally Ilhan Omar and Tashidi Taliban Rashid, whatever the hell her name is, more than anybody. This is a 85-15 issue, and it makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. It makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. This is really the kind of the real brunt of this, too, is even Chuck Schumer admits that if the SAVE Act passes, it will be nearly impossible for your dead aunt to vote in the midterms. I'm going to share this. I'm going to share a lot. So strap in, y'all. And I'm going to tell you exactly how you can help. But I want you to just pay attention to this really quickly because I don't even think he understood that he admitted this on national television. But Senator Chuck Useless Schumer just admitted point blank to CNN that the SAVE Act would remove people from the voter rolls. He doesn't mean real Americans, folks. He means illegal aliens. I want to share this clip really quickly, and then I'm going to we have so much to share. We have so much to talk about. It's going to be a lot, and I need you to really stick around because you have to see this in its entirety, and you have to help. This is your chance to help. Okay, watch this first.
Before the Senate is asking for people to have real ID or a passport or a birth certificate to register. When people are generally asked about voter ID, they're being asked to show an ID when they show up to vote. But what I'm asking you, Senator, because I know you're against the Save America Act, what kind of voter ID could you support? Is there a middle ground?
Well, he doesn't want to support it.
Look, Democrats support voter ID, and many states do, but that's not what the SAVE Act does. It will purge tens of millions of Americans from the voting lists, and they won't even know they're purged till they show up at the polling place.
Okay, why would they? I mean, did you guys hear that? Did you guys hear that? Why would they purge millions and millions of voters? You have to ask yourself, this is a very serious question. Why would they purge millions and millions of voters? He is one of the worst of the worst. This guy, this is why term limits need to be introduced. He just admitted on national TV that all of their illegal voters, okay, this is what's so important about this, all of their illegal voters would be purged from the voter rolls. And by the way, don't forget, we all remember this. This is everything, guys. It's all over if we don't get this passed. Don't forget, back in 2024, Kamala Harris only won, I think it was only one. I think they only won one state in 2024. It might have been New Hampshire, which is deeply, deeply blue. But to me, this map really says it all. But wait, there's more. And I'm going to go through the bill as well. There is not one legitimate reason not to pass the Save America Act if you believe in fair elections, free, open, fair, and you want to maintain the integrity of our elections. There is not one good reason. It's not Jim Crow. That's an insult. It's not racist to require voter ID. Mamdani wants you to help him shovel his snow because he's such a failed commie mayor who has no clue what he's doing. He's destroying New York City, and he's only been in office for a month and a half. But you can't shovel his snow until you get 2-3 forms of ID. Everything comes down to this. All of our work will be forgotten, America. Everything comes down to this. This is not clickbait, and you can help. I'm going to share that in just a moment, how you can help. Holy macadamia nut. I want to share this. And if this doesn't make your blood run cold, I don't know what will. I want to share this. You don't believe me? Let me take it from the horse's mouth. This is from the horse's mouth. This is not AI. Okay. This is a real ad. Mayor Mamdani and AOC speaking in Spanish, paid for by us. Okay. I want you guys to see this and pay very, very close attention to this. Encouraging illegal aliens to sign up for free healthcare. Watch.
Hola.
Mi español no es el mejor.
No, no te preocupes, alcalde. Si su hijo o hija está cumpliendo 3 o 4 años en el 2026, usted puede registrarlos gratis en el programa Kinder 3 o Prekinder de la ciudad de Nueva York. Pero debe registrarse el 27 de febrero, que es la fecha límite. Cualquier padre de la familia de la ciudad de Nueva York, sin importar su ocupación, ingreso o estatus migratorio, es elegible para registrar a sus hijos. Hola.
That's not real. I'm sorry. That is real. That's not AI. That is real, folks. Now you want to know why? I titled this, Everything Comes Down to This. This is not clickbait. That's real, folks. That is not AI. That is 1 billion% real. 85% of Americans across the aisle want this to happen. This is day 56 of asking Leader John Thune to pass the American Save Act. The House passed with bipartisan support. Senate has 50 votes. And I want to play this from his speech, record-breaking, historic speech. President Trump, who demanded that Thune pass this. Watch.
Most importantly, I'm asking you to approve the Save America Act. To stop illegal aliens and others who are unpermitted persons from voting in our sacred American elections. The cheating is rampant in our elections. It's rampant. It's very simple. All voters must show voter ID.
Oh, he's not happy with that. He's certainly not happy with that.
All voters must show proof of citizenship in order to vote. And no more crooked mail-in ballots except for illness, disability, military, or travel. None. And this should be an easy one. And by the way, it's polling at 89%, including Democrats.
Including
89%.
Democrats. Including Democrats. Oh, they don't want to see that because that's how they lose power. Because they can't compete in the free market. They're scared to death that they have to get real jobs.
And even the new communist mayor of New York City, I think he's a nice guy, actually.
Here it
Speak
is.
to him a lot.
Listen to this.
Bad policy, but nice guy. Just said they want people to shovel snow. They got hit hard. Wants them to shovel snow, but if you apply for that job, you need to show 2 original forms of ID and a Social Security card. Yet they don't want identification for the greatest privilege of them all, voting in America. No, it's no good. No good. Both Republicans and Democrats overwhelmingly agree on the policy that we just enunciated. And Congress should unite and enact this common sense, country-saving legislation right now, and it should be before anything else happens.
Before anything else happens. That is our leader who represents us, the American people. He ran on that. We voted for that. I voted 3 times. If you voted 3 times, put a capital 3. I don't think you can capitalize numbers. Put a 3 in the chat right now. This is everything. This is absolutely everything. And we have people, I mean, we gave them everything. We gave them the House. We gave them the Senate. We gave them absolutely everything. Why have you not passed this? I want to play for you this clip. This is why the GOP pisses me off more than anybody. I want to share for you this clip. These are the real enemies, folks. These are the real enemies. I want to share for you this clip. Here is Thune, the Senate Majority Leader, speaking to reporters, saying discussions are underway to enforce the talking filibuster to pass the Save American Act, but says there are not 50 Republican senators supporting it. Listen to this.
Message to the Republicans in your conference who are pushing over and over again that you can do this with the talking filibuster?
Well, there are a couple things about that. One is, once we get on, if we were to go down that path, it's very hard to pivot and get back to open up the government. I frankly think we ought to. We need to make sure that DHS, TSA, Coast Guard, FEMA, all those agencies are funded. And so I'm hopeful there will be a breakthrough on that. That's going to require some obviously cooperation from the Democrats, which we haven't seen a lot of so far. But we want to get to the SAVE Act. We also, as I mentioned, we've got a housing bill that we can pivot back and forth to if we get a deal to open up the government. That's harder to do once you're in the throes of a talking filibuster. The talking filibuster issue is one on which there is not certainly a unified Republican conference, and there would have to be. If you go down that path, you're talking about the need to table what are going to be numerous amendments. And
take a good look,
and
folks. This is what bullshit
keep,
looks like.
Keep 50 Republicans
Excuse my
unified
language.
pretty much on every single vote, and there isn't support for doing that at this point.
These people represent a disgusting, bureaucratic, red tape nightmare
the context of
that we all experience on a day-to-day basis, ad infinitum, ad
an open
nauseum.
question, but one that we're having conversations about, but clearly
Bullshit,
not a
bullshit,
unified position,
bullshit,
at least
bullshit,
among Republicans
bullshit,
in the Senate.
bullshit.
It sounds like that
bullshit.
might be subject to a 60 vote threshold. Is that what you're saying?
I think that's obviously that's a very real possibility.
Look at that. Look at that. We gave you everything, you scumbag. You're worse than AOC. You're worse than mentally Ilhan Omar. We gave you everything. This guy took a bullet for you. Our president took a bullet for you. We gave you everything. What have you done? Nothing. Nothing. This is not a pork belly bill, folks. Here's the actual bill, H.R. 7296, 119th Congress, second session, in the House of Representatives. Most bills that require bipartisan support are literally thousands upon thousands of pages long. Thousands upon thousands of pages long. So days ago, Thune said that, hey, and Elon Musk posted this, and so did Mike Lee. Days ago, Senator John Thune said there was no time to debate and vote on the SAVE Act. Everybody thought, okay, cool, he's getting it going. You want to see something interesting? You want to see something interesting? This is what happened just yesterday. Senators held a dog parade inside the chamber, bringing their pets in for photos and celebration instead of moving forward on the election bill. And you wonder why nothing gets done. Look at this.
Yes.
This is an abomination.
Senate button. Come on in.
Are you kidding me right now? This was just yesterday.
Oh, yeah, and the senator came too.
You've got to be kidding me.
Everybody knows Baby Dog's story, right? Dog, yes.
Nobody loves dogs more than I do, but, you know, I think we've got more important fish to fry here, don't you think? You think? Oh, my God, this gets me so upset. Here's the bill. It's less than 30 pages long. Ensuring only citizens are registered to vote in elections for federal office. Documenting proof of United States citizenship. As used in this act, the term documentary proof means with respect to an applicant for voter registration, any of the following: a form of identification issued consistent with requirements of the Real ID Act of 2005, a valid United States passport, the applicant's official United States military identification card, together with a United States military record of service showing that the applicant's place of birth was in the United States. Or 4, I mean, you get all these options, for crying out loud. You can even use a tribal government ID, a valid government-issued photo identification card issued by a federal, state, or tribal government showing that the applicant's place of birth was in the United States. But wait, there's more. Number 5, a valid government-issued photo identification card issued by federal, state, or tribal government other than an identification described in paragraphs 1 through 4, but only if presented together with one or more of the following: a certified birth certificate issued by a state, a unit of local government. So you have multiple options. There's no excuse. Kamala Harris says, well, black people, there's not a lot of Kinkos where black people live, which is such an insult. Can you imagine if Trump said that? Chuck, the useless Buck Schumer, says that that's Jim Crow 2.0. That's what it is. It's Jim Crow to require a voter for photo ID. But if you want to shovel Mamdani's snow, you need 2 forms of ID. Somebody make that make sense to me. Can somebody make that make sense to me? And every other Democrat calls it racist. Every other Democrat calls it racist, just like they call everything racist. Well, what do actual American citizens think? Here's a quick clip right here. Again, this is not a pork belly bill. It's very simple. It's very straightforward. There's nothing in it. There's literally nothing in it. I want you to watch this quick clip of actual Americans like you and me who are saying, well, no, I don't have any problem with this. Watch.
Why is it an easy one, Tammy?
Can we not all agree that only American citizens should vote in this country? That is the privilege that we get as a citizen of this country. And just prove that you're a citizen. That's simple.
Why is it an easy one, Tammy?
Yeah, that's pretty much it. So I want to go back. I want to go back to this this graph for just a second and kind of explain a little bit more. And I'm going to do that in just a second here. I want to go back to this. So remember, Kamala Harris only won one state requiring photo ID. Only one state. Okay. And here are the people who are still holding out. This is where I said you can help. Here are, if we don't have the majority 50 plus 1, including Vice President J.D. Vance, we are screwed, and we're not going to pass this. Here are the holdouts saying that, well, if we get rid of the filibuster, that just sets an blah, 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 BS, blah, 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 blah. Lisa Murkowski, everybody please take a screenshot of this. I'm going to get out of the way. Hold on a second. I want this to fill the whole screen. Everybody please take a screenshot of this. This is how you can help. This is how you can help. Lisa Murkowski, Bill Cassidy of Louisiana, Mitch McConnell, who is, way over the hill, and Susan Collins. These are the people on the GOP still holding out. Everybody, please take a screenshot of that immediately. Again, the SAVE Act is overwhelmingly popular, 84% plus across both parties. The silent filibuster is a total abuse of Senate procedure, allowing 40 senators to block the bill while literally sleeping. If Thune does not have the courage to at the very least, require debate, then the SAVE Act will fail. Everything we've worked for will be all for naught. Because guess what? These pussy GOP, again, I pardon my language, who don't want to do anything, and we want to do everything by the book, and we don't want to set precedents. I can't in good conscience. BS, BS, BS. They have no clue. They're betraying Trump, ergo betraying the American people because we voted for this. They have a clue and they're willfully acting treasonous, or they're so empty-headed and vapid that they have no clue that the Democrats are so ruthless. They will come back with unbelievable ironclad viciousness and ferocity. Because if this fails now, the next time the Senate flips, voter ID will be eliminated altogether. This will result in a permanent one-party state. Permanent. And this is not a crazy pork-filled bill. Literally just read it. I just read one page of it, which really covers the gist. But it's less than 30 pages long. Here's the link, by the way. I'm going to put the link in the chat so you guys can actually, if you want to, I'll put it also in the show notes and description. That's the link right there to the actual bill if you want to read it. This is how you can help. You got to call these people. You have to call these people. Point blank, pure and simple. You've got to call these people. It doesn't get any more important than this, folks. It does not get any more important than this. There is not one good reason not to want this. There is not one good reason. We have a president who literally took a bullet for us. Not maybe more than once. Multiple assassination attempts. There was a guy who just ran towards the White House with a shotgun not that long ago. Another guy was taken out going to Mar-a-Lago. If we don't do this, oh, by the way, I want to share this too, because this is really, really important. God, I mean, everything is really important. But look at this. This is scary right here, folks. This is from Vote Hub, okay? Democrats continue to expand their turnout lead in Texas with 3 days left of early voting. Nearly 137 more votes cast in the Democratic primary than the Republican primary. How many of those 869,000 votes do you think are from legal American citizens? I dare you. I bet you it's not even 50%. Not even 50% are legal American citizens. I guarantee you. You want to tell me this isn't important? If we don't pass the SAVE Act now, everything is gone. Finished. It's all over. Look at that. Look at that. So we have to get this done. We have to get this done. Elon Musk has been fighting hard for this. The majority of Americans want this. It is not hard to get voter ID. 4 Republican senators are a no, leaning no, on a talking filibuster to pass the Save America Act with 50+1 votes. Senator Tom Tillis is currently a no, showing off his dog instead of getting to work. He says, I have to see a, quote, clear plan to pass the bill without nuking the filibuster. Senator John Curtis warned that if this process upended up a Democrat amendment spree, he wouldn't vote to table their amendments if it means, quote, changing the Senate rules, end quote. And then you have Mitch McConnell and Lisa Murkowski. That brings our 53 GOP majority to 49 votes. You need 50 the whole way through to get this done. And Thune says discussions are ongoing, which is full of crap. The GOP has to be a guaranteed unified front to win a talking filibuster. This is an 85-15 issue. And this scumbag right here is one of the worst of the worst. He almost pisses me off more than mentally Ilhan Omar. That's Tom Tillis. Anybody have this ridiculous guy as a representative in their state of North Carolina? I'm going to find out what his contact info is. You can go to his website. If you just Google Tom Tillis, and here are some numbers if you want to reach out to him. Let me zoom in here. Everybody needs to call this guy. Everybody needs to call this number. But if you Google, so you have Washington, D.C. numbers. You have his Raleigh phone. This is Tom Tillis. Charlotte. Screenshot those numbers right now. There is no reason whatsoever. President Trump has been asking for this as a representative of us, the people. There is no reason not to pass this immediately to prevent the Democrats from cheating. Here's an amazing, speaking of the hardest working president and the best president of my lifetime, President Trump could soon mandate, this is really, really powerful. And I also want to play for you a couple of clips of viewers calling into C-SPAN, which I think is just really powerful, talking about President Trump's speech. But I think this is really, really interesting because it looks like President Trump might be breaking the mold again in creating history because he wants to soon mandate that banks verify citizenship of their customers. This would apply to existing customers. I mean, why in the world would we allow illegal aliens to bank in America? Makes no sense to me. But this is breaking news right here. And I want to share this. Did you guys get that screenshot of the numbers? I want to share this. This is breaking news. Check this out.
Could soon force banks to take part in an immigration crackdown. What I mean by that is sources tell CNN the administration is considering requiring financial institutions to collect and verify their customers' citizenship status, something banks aren't currently required to do. One source says the new policy could come through an executive order. CNN's Matt Egan is following this story for us. So, Matt, what are you learning about how banks are responding to this possibility?
Yeah, well, Omar, this does appear to be part of the Trump administration's aggressive immigration crackdown. Sources tell CNN's Priscilla Alvarez and I that the administration is considering new action that would require banks to check the citizenship status of their customers. Now, this would be something that would actually apply not just on a go-forward basis, but also to existing customers, which is pretty stunning when you think about just how many customers the banks already have. Now, this action could also require banks to check a different category of documents than what they normally look at, including passports. Now, I do want to stress that nothing here has been announced or finalized. It's not clear here whether or not this would come in the form of an executive order or some other action. We reached out to the White House, and a spokesperson said that any reporting on policy that hasn't been officially announced is just speculation. But some Republicans do support this. Republican Senator Tom Cotton, he put out a post on X yesterday where he said, "I strongly support President Trump taking action to prevent illegal migrants from accessing our banking system." And he said he sent a letter to Treasury last fall asking for an investigation into this matter, and that he plans to introduce legislation on this issue shortly. Now, Omar, you asked about how the industry is reacting. Officially, they're not really saying much, right? Representatives from major banks, from bank trade groups, they haven't commented on this. However, sources do tell CNN that the industry is concerned here because they're worried that this kind of action, it could almost compel them to be part of the administration's immigration crackdown. One financial industry source told me.
And what would be wrong with that? I mean, it's unbelievable. They want to do everything in their power to fight this. What would be wrong with that? Can somebody tell me? What would be wrong with cracking down on illegal immigration? You're here illegally. Make it make sense. Now, another reason why the SAVE Act is so important, I want to just switch gears for just a second. I'm going to go back to those numbers that you can call them and take a screenshot because, like I said at the outset, this is a call to arms, to quote Thomas Paine back in 1776, who wrote one of the most important revolutionary essays called Common Sense. I want to talk about this because this is so important. What happened in California, my home state? What happened in California recently is just a small microcosm of an example, okay? It's just a small microcosm of an example of why passing the SAVE Act would literally help with the fraud in all areas, basically propagated and perpetrated by the Democrats. Why can't I say that word? I'm going to talk about that in just a second because the fraud and Nick Shirley, I'm going to share a quick video from Nick Shirley as well. The fraud in California, in my home state, puts Minnesota to shame. It is literally child's play compared to the massive, gigantic fraud in California. But before I do, I promised I would share this. I wanted to share a couple of quick clips, which I think are just so cool. Here's one right here of a Wisconsin voter torching Democrats for refusing to stand. C-SPAN has this call-in show, and I just think this is so cool. Listen to this.
Well, that guy kind of just stole my thunder about the Democrats when they were sitting there on their hands when he asked if you're for the American people, and all the Republicans stood up and clapped, and the Democrats just sat there. They didn't do a damn thing.
I wanted to, this is so important because, President Trump, and I did a video on this yesterday. I think it's going to be the greatest election ad of all time. I mean, I'm dead serious. I think it's going to be the greatest election ad of all time. And I'll tell you why in just a second. Where President Trump said, if you agree with this statement, please stand. And he said, if you believe that it is the government's number one priority to work for American citizens before you work for illegal aliens, please stand up. None of them stood up. None of them stood up. The greatest election ad of all time. I did a video on this yesterday. And score hit, just stick around. I'm going to tell you exactly who you need to call. Okay? Score hit on Rumble says, what are we going to do, Professor Nez? Who are we going to call today? I'll tell you. I mean, I've showed it a million times, but I'm going to show it again. Stick around. I love you. Listen to this voter right here from California in reaction to President Trump. And then watch what CBS, a woke media apparatus, says about the Democrats.
I loved everything about it. I think that living in California right by the border, if you live by a border town, you 200% see the difference. And just the way that he brought in our fellow American heroes, it's trying to, and the U.S. Olympic gold medalists, those guys were awesome. It's just uplifting. It's like, if you do not see what has happened within 1 year, to all the American people, like, we all just need to realize everything's not going to be agreed upon. But I thought it was amazing. I'm seeing egg prices go down. I'm seeing the border secure, living on a border town. I'm witnessing it with my own eyes. I don't do social media. So thank you, guys. I loved it.
Real Americans experiencing real hardship from the ghastly, dastardly, to quote Al Geico Caveman Green's words, deeds of the Democrats. Even CBS's, I forget his name, the reporter, but they admitted the Democrats made fools of themselves. I can't wait to share this clip with you here. I mean, CBS, this is hard to believe. Trump sued CBS and ABC. This is kind of surprising. Check this out.
Here at the table, I want to bring the conversation back here to our group watching along. Major, you've seen a lot of these, I think, more than any of us. What stood out to you?
Well, look, before the speech, many Republicans said one of the priorities for the president was to make sure Americans after this speech had a sense that the opposition party was off the rails, was crazy, their terminology, not mine. Many of the contrasts the president articulated tonight were to drive that message forward. That not only do I disagree with the opposition party sitting before me in Congress, but I disagree with them so strongly and they with me so much that they can't even applaud basic common sense thing. And that line that you mentioned, that he added to the speech, whether it was ad-libbed or not, the first obligation, American citizens versus illegal aliens, was meant to create a visual moment of perpetual contrast.
We have Major here at the table. I want to bring the conversation back here.
So even CBS, can you believe this? Even CBS is saying the Democrats are nuts. I mean, the Democrats are absolutely nuts. I want to share this. So I want to just talk about California fraud for just a moment. Because this to me is, again, it's a microcosm. There's no way in a billion years you will ever convince me that Newsom somehow averted 2, 3, 4 recalls. He has destroyed this state. Karen Bass has destroyed Los Angeles. San Diego is a shell, a shadow of what it used to be. San Francisco is a dystopian nightmare. They have literally destroyed California. And the superintendent who makes millions of dollars, has homes all over the place, of the largest school district, pretty much in the entire country, Alberto Carvalho. The FBI raided his home just yesterday. Check this out. Then I want to talk about this and how this relates to the SAVE Act.
It's raiding the Los Angeles Unified School District headquarters and the home of Superintendent Alberto Carvalho. The FBI confirming that it executed search warrants, but withholding any further detail. The superintendent has recently made headlines for fighting with federal officials over immigration enforcement efforts in his district.
Okay, now why this is important. Okay, this is extremely important. So there is massive fraud in California. This raid of the LA superintendent's home, there was ties to dealings with All Here, which is an AI company that developed a chat bot for the school system. All Here is the name of this company, and the founder, Joanna Griffin, was charged with fraud in 2024. The Florida raid happened at her home, and the home of Deborah Kerr, a successful salesperson who has clients including All Here. Public records show she has historical links to Carvalho from when he was Miami School's chief. She previously claimed in court documents All Here owes her $630,000 in back pay. Carvalho is the chief employee, has led one of the nation's it's the second largest school system since 2022. Some of the agents wore jackets that said FBI. I look back, one of the people who lives down the street, John Schaefer, said, quote, I look back and there was a guy in camo with a rifle pointed at the superintendent's house. And I'm like, this is really weird. So this is why this is important. Okay. This is why this is super important, is this guy Carvalho has multiple homes across the United States. He makes an exorbitant salary, and yet 2/3 of his tenure has been fraught with failure. This is why this is important. 2/3 of his tenure. We have the lowest proficiency scores in California. We have the lowest reading comprehension, math in the entire state. I'm sorry, in the entire nation. So imagine, and Obama gave this guy an award. So imagine if you run a company and 2/3 of the time you are an utter abysmal failure. How in the world? This guy's gotten bonuses. He makes a crazy multiple six-figure salary. He's got multiple bonuses, and Obama's giving him awards. Would you hire somebody to run your company? Think about this. This is why I say the Democrats never, this is what this has to do with the SAVE Act is, this is how they do it, folks. They cheat to win elections, to retain power. They do backdoor deals with all their buddies. They elevate fools who have no business running a lemonade stand. And the chaos and consequences and pain and misery is felt by you and me, hardworking, tax-paying, law-abiding citizens. And it bleeds into every artery of life in America. It's not just at the federal level, local level, county level, state level. It goes into all levels. This is how they do it. Would you hire Alberto Carvalho to run your company knowing that he's failed 2/3 of the time? 2/3 of the time he's failed. Would you do that? This is how they do it, folks. Look at Nick Shirley. I love Nick Shirley. Nick Shirley deserves the Pulitzer Prize. Instead of helping, this is another reason too. There's two questions I want to ask you. Number one, why wouldn't, if these Democrat leaders like Garcia, Newsom, Karen Bass, Kamala Harris, if they actually cared about you, if they actually cared about me, if they actually cared about hardworking, tax-paying, law-abiding citizens, why wouldn't you put the full weight of your office behind Nick Shirley and other independent media. Forget independent media. It doesn't even have to be independent media. Any investigations whatsoever into uncovering and exposing fraud, which directly helps every taxpayer, every citizen of your state, county, city, etc. Why wouldn't you do that? You know what they're doing instead? They're calling him a white supremacist. The same thing they're doing to Trump. This is a threat to democracy. This is racism. It's racism to expose fraud, people. That's what they're saying. I want to share this video right here, and I have to give you warning before I share it. It's a little bit tough to watch. So if you're a little squeamish, maybe nothing graphic or gory, but the content is extremely emotional. This is a 12-year-old boy left on the streets. California had over $24 billion go unaccounted for that was dedicated to the homeless. NGOs and nonprofits receive millions for the homeless. Yet the problem just gets worse and worse, while children often get pulled into these horrific situations in places like Skid Row. Our tax dollars should go towards helping others instead of enriching the pockets of NGOs and nonprofits who are facilitated by Newscomb and Bass. Check out this video right here. And again, I just want to give you warning. It's nothing graphic or gory, but it is definitely heart-wrenching, to say the least. Watch.
Welfare check. Hey, y'all all right up in there?
It's my son. It's fine.
Oh, it's your son?
Well, how old's your son? 12 years old. He's living here on the streets. What do you like to do for fun? What do you like to do for fun?
Ride bikes and stuff.
Ride scooters and stuff? What streets?
How long have you been homeless, you know?
2 days.
Is this the first time?
The first time we've ever been outside.
I'd like to figure out how to get you and your mom some help. Could we talk to you real quick? Promise we don't bite.
Get out?
Yeah, get out if you can.
Oh, hold on.
How you doing?
Good.
Good.
Oh, my little man right there. How you doing, man? You in school?
Soon.
Soon. This 12-year-old here on the streets with his mom, we're going to pay for their hotel for the next 3 days. And then hopefully from there, I'm going to take down our contact info. We're going to make sure that this kid gets into school. This is what's going on here in the streets. And a 12-year-old has to live here. So
unbelievable.
This is what's going on. We're going to make sure this kid's not in the same situation.
If you be nice to your mother, we're going to get you some help. Look in that camera right there. Say you're going to be nice to your mother.
I'm going to be nice to my mother.
No, that's not your business.
You didn't even look. You didn't even look at the camera. I never been on camera.
I'm going
to be nice to my mother, I promise.
Okay, there you got $500. We're trusting you with that. Her hotel is confirmed for the next few days. We're going to order her Uber right now. And so how long have you and Isaiah been out here on the streets of Skid Row for?
For 3 days now. We've been in LA on the streets on and off for 15 days, but we've come up with money to get a hotel here and there. We've slept in parking garage. We've slept at the hospital.
My big concern is if you've been out here in the most densely populated location of homelessness, where you have the most amount of NGOs, nonprofits as well, and they see a kid out here for 3 days and no one really took action to do anything.
Nope, not at all. We sleep.
You're my boy, Isaiah. All right, Uber's here.
Got it? Yep. Sweet.
All right, peace out, Isaiah.
Thank you.
Of course.
Nick Shirley deserves, I mean, all the help, all the praise, all the awards that could ever be bestowed upon him. Yes, Catherine, I agree. There's nothing you can say to make me think otherwise. We need term limits. 100%. So, again, my point in sharing this, let's get back to this, okay, really quickly. If we don't do something about this, this is cyclical, y'all. This is how they do it. They take a look and say, wait a minute, okay, nobody's voting for us anymore. We lost big. We lost in a mandate. We lost every swing state. We lost the popular vote. Instead of saying, let's change it up. Maybe we shouldn't have, men and women's locker rooms, men and women's sports. Maybe we shouldn't, be fighting against law enforcement officers who are simply doing their job. These are families These are men and women who have families, just simply doing their job, carrying out tasks that were issued to them by the chief law enforcement officer, our president, who was duly elected representing us, the people. Ergo, they're defying the people. Maybe we should get rid of this DEI thing because, it's really inherently racist, and just really follow what America's always followed: hire the best person, regardless of race, creed, ethnicity, color of skin, etc. Hire the best person for the job. Maybe diversity for diversity's sake is actually racist and inherently racist and has dire consequences, as we have seen in national emergency after national emergency. The list goes on and on and on. No, they didn't do that. You know what they did? They said, we're not going to change. We're going to get even more relentless. We're going to become even more belligerent, toxic, violent, vile, evil. And you know what? We don't need you, Americans. We're going to import our voters. And by doing that, they stay in power. And if they stay in power, and if they regain power through the midterms, everything. If the SAVE Act doesn't pass, it's all over, folks. It's literally our constitutional republic as we know it will never look the same. So somebody asked me, what can you do? These are the holdouts. Okay? These are the holdouts. I want you to call them. Lisa Murkowski, Bill Cassidy, Mitch McConnell, Susan Collins. I have Tom Tillis in there as well. These are the holdouts. These are the people that you need to call right now. You can do something. Email them. Take a screenshot. Take a picture with your phone right now of the screen. Call them. Send them an email. Tap the thumbs up. Share this with everybody. Share this with everybody. They're not taking us seriously. The majority of Americans, over 85%, both Democrats and Republicans, want voter ID. You need an ID for literally everything. You cannot get on a plane without an ID. You can't rent a car without an ID. You cannot buy a beverage that has alcohol in it without ID. You can't rent a car. You can't get into the DNC, the Democrat National Convention, without ID. You can't shovel Mamdani's snow without voter ID. This is what you need to do right now. You need to call, email, do whatever you can to get these guys into gear, kick their butts, and get them into gear. It's as simple as that, folks. And then there's this guy too, Tom Tillis, which this is his information right here. This is the number in Raleigh. You can also email him too. Take a screenshot of that. Thank you, Catherine. Doing the right thing doesn't make you rich. Okay. Yeah. I want to also thank our sponsor, Chapter, who has helped scores of our listeners and viewers gain clarity and even save a lot of money on their Medicare. Medicare is fraught with fraud as well. Confusing, perplexing, bureaucratic, red tape nightmare. Call that free number down below, 656-218-0931. I don't partner with a lot of people. You guys know this. I don't have a lot of sponsors on the channel. But what changed my mind were all the people who said, my God, I'm saving thousands of dollars. It's completely free. They don't sell me anything. This is an independent, unbiased, free service. Literally, it's like having experts for free. I'll also leave a link and the number in the pinned comment and in the description and show notes below. But these guys are amazing. One viewer said I'm saving $2,500 a month. Another one said it was the greatest Medicare call I've ever been on. There was no BS, no broker fees, just good, honest information. Thank you for the share, Professor Nez. Mitch won't answer the phone. Yeah, of course he won't. Leave a message. Email him. Be consistent. I've called these numbers 100 times. Somebody said, CPC Lexi just said, the news is saying Texas is going blue. So I just shared this. This is the scariest thing ever. I just shared this earlier if you're just joining now. This is early primary voting. And if this doesn't strike fear into your heart, I don't know what will. Excellent comment. Democrats are expanding their turnout lead in Texas with 3 days left of early voting. Nearly 137,000 more votes cast in the Democratic primary than the Republicans. That should scare everybody. How many people remember this? Kamala Harris only won one single state. I think it was New Hampshire. Only won one single state that required voter ID. Only won one state. Every other state she won did not require photo ID. Do you want to know why I titled this Everything Comes Down to This? Because everything comes down to this, folks. It's as simple as that. Oh, God. You know what I have, actually? PG-13, The Bill Hound Show. Nez, have you been lifting? Your shoulders look bigger. Yes, I have. I'm trying, man. I'm almost 50 years old. Holy macadamia nut. December 27th, 1976. I was born on the bicentennial. You want to tell me Providence isn't at play? You want to tell me God isn't great? I was born on the bicentennial. That's why I bleed red, white, and blue. We have our 250th birthday, and Professor Nez is going to turn 50, December 27th, 2026. What do you know? Maybe we should have a huge giveaway. Hey, thanks a lot. I appreciate that. I think, well, we're definitely going to have a huge giveaway like we usually do. Yes, Laura Tilford. Good to see you, Lala. It's in the stars. Absolutely, it's in the stars. This is everything, folks. And again, the entire bill is something that is very straightforward. There's nothing in this bill. I've read it top to bottom, and you can too. Most bills of this kind of magnitude, impact-wise, are thousands of pages long. This isn't a pork-filled bill. It's just a couple of pages long. Less than 30. A lot of it is very simple and can be broken down very simply. But this is what we need to avoid. How many of those 869,000 votes in the blue do you think are legal? How many? How many of those votes do you think are legal? I would liquidate the portfolio, y'all, on this. Probably less than 50% of those nearly 1 million blue votes are legal, I bet. Less than 50%. I wouldn't be surprised if the number was in the high 70s. I would not be surprised. Kamala Harris only won one state. Let me see. What else was I going to share with you before we get out of here? And I want to give a big shout out. Thank you to all the super chats and all the members who are here right now. I want to give a big shout out to the mods who are amazing. A silent filibuster allows for 40 Senate minority to block a bill without even debating. Literally, they can block it by just sleeping. If he refuses to do this, he's co-signing defeat. This is not just an abstract defeat, y'all. This is the defeat of the will of 84% of Americans and the demise of secure elections. This is unacceptable. This is unacceptable. And so look at this. This isn't complicated, guys. Look at this. Do you favor or oppose requiring all voters to provide photo ID at their voting ID. 84%. This is the latest Gallup poll. 84% favor. 84%. Let me take this off. You can see it right there. 84% favor. That's why I say everything comes down to this. This is not clickbait. Congratulations, Aries J, for becoming a new member. Reach out to your senator, your congresswoman or man or whatever. Call them, email them ad infinitum, and make sure that you let them know how you feel. Demand this right now. End the silent filibuster. Get rid of the 60 Senate vote cloture. And let's pass the greatest bill ever that would secure the integrity of American elections once and for all. Thank you guys so much for watching. Again, thank you to all the amazing individuals. Thank you, Jim Barron, JB, my man JB, Light Warrior. Thank you to The Buzz, CJC, for the $5 super chat. Hopefully Johnson will let Luna, Burchett, and the people do their job to attach this to the next move. I agree. Thank you, Catherine, for the $5 super chat. Thank you, Catherine, again for the $2 super chat. Thank you, Bill Hound Show. Welcome all new members. Thank you, Laura. Thank you, Jim. Got the best mods in the business. And as always, may God bless you and may God bless. Please tap that thumbs up before we go. And may God bless the United States and all.